Hello everyone, this is lesson 4.6, 8th grade. This is lesson 4.6, 8th grade. This is the red book. Please make sure you have this copied down right here. Today we are talking about writing equations in slope-intercept form. By the end of today, you should be able to write equations of lines in slope-intercept form. There are multiple ways to do this, so it should be fairly easy for us to get this done. Please press pause before you answer questions or before I answer the questions. Again, I'll say that again. Please press pause, answer the question yourself, then watch how I answer the question. All right, let's move on. First things first, we are going to find the slope and the y-intercept. Up to now, we have been practicing how to do this. There are multiple ways to do this. The easiest way is if they are giving you a graph, like they just gave us a graph right here. Please just look for your y-intercept. What does the y-intercept mean again? Well, the y-intercept is where a line touches the y line. So there it is. That would be your y-intercept. And then this would be your x-intercept. We haven't talked about this yet, but you're going to be looking for your y-intercept. So where exactly does it touch your y line? Well, it touches it right there at 0 and 5. So if you're going to make a t-chart, you have x and y. Remember that when your x is 0, your y is going to be your y-intercept. So it's 0 and 5. So that's your y-intercept. So it says write an equation. What do equations look like? You have y is equal to mx plus b. B is your y-intercept. So what is your y-intercept? It is 5. So far you have y is equal to mx plus 5. Now we just need to find our slope. Now remember, when they give you a graph, is the easiest way is to just count your, what is it called? Your rise over run. So we always start from the left to the right. By the way, this is a negative line. It's a negative slope. So let's see, how many did we go up? 1, 2, 3. We went up 3. It's also negative, and we went over 1, 2, over 2. So your slope, or your equation now, should look like this. Y is equal to negative 3 over 2x plus 5. That is your equation for this problem. All right, the easiest way when they give you a graph is don't worry about y2 minus y1 or anything like that. Your only focus should be on find the y-intercept, count your rise over run, and get the question over with. All right, let's move on to the next question. What happens if they don't give you a graph? This time, what I want you to do is I do want you to copy down just this part. So these 4 right here. So make a t-chart. Step 1, write down the, Step 1, write down the problem. And the problem is your t-chart. So please copy this down. We have 0 and negative 3, and then we have 3 and 2. Okay, so now that we have this, there's 2 ways to answer this question. One, you can solve to find your y-intercept and or find your slope, but you should know that whenever your x is 0, what is your y? Your y is going to be your y-intercept. So you're already this is not the answer, by the way. You're already halfway there. So your equation looks like this. Y equals mx plus b. I'm going to write it again because I know my negative 3 is my y-intercept. So I have y is equal to mx minus 3. Okay. Now, how do we find the slope? There's 2 ways. You can do it this way. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What's that going to look like? That's x1, right? That's y1. x2, that's y2. I do want you to write both of these down, so please have both of these versions down just so that you know how to solve this. So let's plug these in. We have 2 minus a negative 3 over 3 minus 0. What do we got? 5 over 3. So it looks like we found our slope is 5 over 3. By the way, that was a double negative. So your equation should be 5 over 3 x minus 3. That's one way to solve it, is by using the formula to find your slope. The other way to solve it, I'm going to put it over here, is right, we had our equation with our y-intercept. Y is equal to mx minus 3. Now all you need to do is just choose any coordinate. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to use this one right here, 3 and 2. Usually 0 and negative 3 would probably even work even faster. So let's just plug those in. I'm going to plug that in for x. I'm going to plug that in for y. So it's going to look like this. Negative 3 is equal to m times 0, right? That's your x, minus 3. Okay. Did I mess this up? Let's check this out. Let's see. Plus 3, plus 3, I have 0. I did mess this up. What did I do wrong? Y is equal to negative 3, x is equal to 0. Plus 3, I got 0. What am I missing here, guys? I did something wrong. Scratch that out. Let's just use 3 and 2. Sorry, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm having a little bit of trouble here. All right, let's plug these in. All right, so we got 2 is equal to, we have m, and then we have 3 for our x, and then we have minus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So you now have 5 is equal to m times 3, right? Or 3m. How about we do it the other way? M times 3, that's 3m, right? And then how do we get the m by itself? Divide by 3, divide by 3, and your slope, or m, is equal to 5 over 3, just like we got it before. I got to look and find out why this one did not work. I'm going to have to double check. I believe it has to do with the 0. If I'm not mistaken, I'm probably missing a rule, but it has to do something with the 0. Apologize about that. So the other way is to just take your numbers and plug them in. Okay? I'll get back to that one with the 0 and see what's going on. All right, so here we go. We have 2 questions, and we got to solve. We got to write an equation in slope-intercept form. All right, so let's do it the easy way right here. Step 1, write down your equation, which is y is equal to mx plus b. Do I want you to copy this down? No, please do not copy that down. Okay, so now what is your y-intercept? Your y-intercept is right there, and that's going to be 2. So you now have y is equal to mx plus 2. And now to find our slope, you just count your what? We're going to count our rise over run. So let's say 1, 2 over 1. So 2 over 1 is also known as just 2. So let's plug it in. Y is equal to 2x plus 2. It looks like that is your equation. Okay? Now let's try the other way, this time from a t-chart. So here we go. Step 1, I would like you to copy, let's copy these first numbers right here. And we're going to do y is equal to mx plus b. I know that when I have a 0 for my x, my y is my y-intercept. So I actually have y is equal to mx minus 1. And let's use this coordinate right here. Okay? So 3 is my y. 3 is equal to m times negative 3 minus 1. All right, so let's try to solve for this letter m. Let's get that all by itself. What is the opposite of subtracting 1? We'll do plus 1, right? Cross that off. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other. Plus 1. Cross that off. You get 4 is equal to, and now let's see, how do you multiply? So that's m times negative 3, which actually gives you negative 3m. What is the opposite of multiply, right? That's a multiplication sign. What's the opposite of multiplication? That is division. So divide by negative 3, cross it off. Divide by negative 3. And we know our m is equal to 4 over negative 3. All right, so that's our slope. So our equation is actually y is equal to negative 4 over 3x minus 1. That's one way to do it. The second way I want you to do it is I do want you to do y2 minus y1. So let's actually do that. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Let's plug in our numbers. So we got negative 1 minus 3, and then you have 0 minus a negative 3. So that's going to give you negative 4 double negative over 3. So we're done. Negative 4 over 3. Please use the method when you're doing your homework. Please use the method that works the fastest for you. Either if it's y2 minus y1, or if it's plugging in your numbers. Either or gets you the correct answer, but I suggest you double check both of your answers. Okay? You might see a question like this on your homework and it says, which equation is shown on the graph? Well, how do you solve this? Easiest way is if you create a t-chart, x, y, and let's plug in some of my coordinates. So I have 0 and -4. I then have -1 and -4. I have +1 and -4. It looks like it doesn't matter what number I have, it's always going to be -4. So that means my equation is literally y is always going to equal -4. Alright, so which one of these is true? It looks like it is right there. So the correct way to answer this question would be create a t-chart, plug in some of your coordinates, and that's going to make it easier for you to solve. Okay? Alright, I'll write an equation for a line. Alright, so these are two more. Again, there's two ways to solve this. One way is to use the graph, create a t-chart, or use your y2 minus y1. So let's try that one over here. So our equation is actually y is equal to mx plus b. I do want you to copy down these first ones right here. So let's do that. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're going to call that x1, y1, x2, y2. So you now have 5 minus 5 over 0 minus a -4. Well, that's 0 over 4, and 0 over 4 is just going to give you 0. So that means m times 0 is going to give you 0. So you have y is equal to 0, and you just got to find your y-intercept. Well, we know that whenever your x is a 0, that means your y is going to be your y-intercept. So it's like this. Do I need the 0? No. So it's actually y is equal to just 5. That's a horizontal line. Okay, what was the easiest way to find the slope for this one? Create a t-chart, x, y. The same thing would apply if you had a graph that went up and down like that. Okay, so let's plug in some numbers. I have 0 and 1. I have 1 and 1, 2 and 1, 3 and 1. So it looks like no matter what I do, my answer is always going to be just 1. So y is equal to 1. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is today's lesson. Please try your best on your homework. Make sure you show your work. Yes, I do want you to graph some of those questions. Please try your best, and I will see everybody tomorrow.